Wisdom shines in talks with Sri Ramana Maharshi. My comments bring this profound wisdom into your experience. I'm Richard. Welcome. I'm reviewing and commenting on the book Talks with Sri Ramana Maharshi. Today is from Talk 254. Mr. Duncan Greenleaf quoted a few verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam to the following effect. See the self in yourself like the pure ether in all beings, in and out. Unashamed, fall prostrate before even an outcast, a cow, or an ass. So long as I am not perceived in all, worship all with body and mind. With right knowledge, see all as Brahma. This once clear, all doubts are at an end, and you will remain withdrawn in the self. He then raised the following questions. Is this a true path to the realization of the one self? Is it not easier for some thus to practice seeing Bhagavan in whatever meets the mind than to seek the super-mental through the mental inquiry, who am I? Maharshi, yes, when you see God in all, do you think of God or do you not? You should certainly keep God in your mind for seeing God all around you. Keeping God in your mind becomes Dhyana. Dhyana is the stage before realization. Realization is in the self only. Dhyana must precede it. Whether you make dhyana of God or of self is immaterial. The goal is the same, but you cannot escape the self. You want to see God in all, but not in yourself? If all are God, are you not included in that all? Yourself being God, is it a wonder that all are God? There must be a seer and thinker for even the practice. Who is he? Greenleaf shares verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam. This text is an important scripture of the Vaishnavites. It emphasizes that devotion to God, bhakti, ultimately leads to self-knowledge, moksha, liberation, and bliss. The text suggests that the idea of seeing God, seeing the self in everyone and everything. The verses emphasize humility and recognizing the divine in everything, even in what society may consider lowly. It's a beautiful concept of universal interconnectedness. Mr. Greenleaf asked questions, wondering if this approach, bhakti, surrender, and devotion, is a valid path to realizing the oneself, and whether it is easier than the method of self-inquiry, like done in the famous Who Am I? Ramana Maharshi confirms bhakti as a valid path. He says that the practice of seeing God in everything leads to a form of meditation or dhyana. The key point here is to keep God in mind during this practice. Dhyana, practice, Meditation, says Ramana, is the stage preceding realization. Realization is always and only of the self. Meditation is what brings realization. Meditation brings knowledge of yourself. It is this self-knowledge that readies the ground to grow the fruit of realization. Now, as to the choice between making dhyana of God or self, bhakti or inquiry, Ramana says that it doesn't matter. The ultimate goal remains the same. Whether you meditate on and surrender to the divine or inquire into the self, the destination is the realization of the self. It is an internal choice based on your natural inclinations and temperament, love or direct knowledge, bhakti or jnana. However, he brings a compelling argument. If you want to see God in everything, shouldn't you include yourself in that everything? It's a self-reflective moment, challenging you to recognize the divinity within. Ramana points out that even in the practice of seeing God in all, there is a subtle acknowledgement of a seer or thinker. He poses the question, who is this seer? Who is it that sees God? This brings attention back to your essence and is the importance of self-inquiry. Realization is the discovery that there is no separation between what seems like your own self and the universal self. No difference. Bhakti resolves this by merging with God. Jnana resolves it by the direct knowledge of no difference. Ramana ends this discussion with the question, who is he? Who is the seer? He ends directing you to inquire. The dialogue underscores the significance of self-knowledge in the spiritual journey. It's a nuanced exploration that encourages you to consider either the path of surrender or the path of inquiry as paths to self-realization. Choose the path you are drawn to. I am drawn to inquiry. Inquiry does not mean that I can't love the teaching and the teacher, God and the grace of God. Maybe they are not two paths, but alternate faces of the same path. So inquire, know yourself, and be always free and at peace. These videos bring Ramana's teachings into your direct experience. Click subscribe to see more. Click thumbs up to like, and send questions and start a dialogue with a comment.